Well, I've known Charlie a long time. We toured together, and at one point, we were hanging out backstage in Nashville, Tennessee, in the alley behind the Ryman after the Americana Awards, and he had just won an award for like Artist of the Year. And we'd hung out a few times over the years, but this one particular hangout, we just really realized how alike we were and how much we liked each other and how much we didn't like being in Nashville at that time, And so after that, we stayed in touch, and I really wanted to work with him, and he finally gave me a shot to come out to Sunset Sound and in February last year. So he came out and we worked on his record Lonesome Drifter. And during that time, my old friend Laurel Stearns had approached me about this Bad Company celebration release, and she'd come by the studio when I was cutting Lonesome Drifter, the song, and she asked me if she if I thought Charlie would be into doing that song. And I know Charlie doesn't really like to do what he doesn't want to do, so I didn't really want to push it, but I knew that they really wanted him to do it, and I would remind him about it, and he wanted to take a shot at it. And we had the awesome Daryl Jones come in on bass, and we had 2 drummers, and had just a really fun time making the track in the studio. And he was singing his ass off in there, and it was just a really, really fun time. So that's kind of how it came about. But as far as the production goes on the song, I always want to serve the artist before I'm gonna try and make the, Charlie wouldn't do anything he wasn't comfortable with in the first place, So I knew he was just gonna make it his own. I just thought it was cool we were gonna have 2 drummers, so I figured that was gonna take us a little bit away from the original. And we had pedal steel, and we had Charlie's band in there, and so it really gave it that Blue Drifter sound. So I knew it was gonna stand out. Charlie's his own person, and the Blue Drifter is their own band. Man, Bad Company as a band means so much to rock and roll, because there was Free, and you had this the most incredible singer in rock and roll in Paul Rodgers. And when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Shooting Star. That song meant like everything to me, and I think I kind of launched my band. My band was called Stargun, and we had a song called Nicky Stargun about a character, and it was very similar to Shooting Star. So that was my own ripoff, and that was the first time I also learned how to play that like a solo would modulate. Guns N' Roses and bands like that did that all the time, but they were kind of the first band doing that. And Bad Company kind of defined a lot of eras of sound, much like the rock and roll fantasy thing. But to me, Bad Company has always been my favorite song. And of course, like, covering that song with Charlie was very intimidating. I want to do it service. Like, I want to do Charlie's service. I want to do the song service, And but I really love Bad Company, and I've loved Bad Company since I was a very little dude. I remember my first band, we covered The Sky Is Burning. I was obsessed with Bad Company as a young man. So gotta say, I felt the weight for sure of having to do this, but I knew Charlie was gonna crush it, and we had a great time doing it. His band is kick-ass, so that's just that.
I can hear him say,